Hello! Welcome to the Everyman Puppet Theater's puppet making workshop. Today we're going to be making mouth puppets out of socks. Now before we begin, I want to caution you that you need to check with your mom or dad or your guardian to find out if you can go ahead and ruin your socks. But we chose sock puppets because almost everybody has old socks in their drawer that they really would rather throw out or use for rags, and this way you can take your old worn socks out of your drawer and make more room for your new socks and make a puppet out at the same time. Now, if you decide to make a puppet out of a sock that you want to wear again, I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing you do, put your sock on your hand. You put the heel of the sock over your knuckles, and then you open your hand wide and stuff the rest of the sock inside. And you have the beginning of a mouth puppet. If you use 3 rubber bands, you can use rubber bands or you can use hair ties or the hair bands too, whatever works. The one of them goes on to hold the jaw in place. And the one goes all the way around your wrist. That's so you hang clothes on it. And the third one goes on the outside under your thumb and over your knuckles like that. Okay, so you've got 3 rubber bands. One's going over the top like this, one's going in the jaw, and one's going around the waist. Now, in this case, we're going to put some hair on them, and you can just use another sock, preferably one that's a different color. Does this meet with your approval? You can't see it anyway, can you? Okay, so we're going to take one sock up here, and we're going to tuck it under that 3rd rubber band. And it holds it on her head. Not doing a very good job of holding it on her head. It's holding on her head. If you get the heel of the sock under the rubber band, then you can tuck it back over. Now you have hair. Sort of. Okay? Now for eyes, you can either cut out pieces of felt and sort of tack them onto the sock, but you have to remember that if you want to use this sock again, what you can do, if you can make some eyeballs out of felt, in this case I have googly eyes, and I put a little piece of Velcro on the back, so all I have to do is stick it to the sock and Velcro holds it on. Now we have eyeballs and we have hair. And of course, yes, you're feeling a little naked now, right? You gotta give her some clothes. So that's where the 3rd rubber band comes in around your wrist. You can just tuck a hanky around there, a bandana, some other scrap fabric, and now you have a dress. And now you have a sock puppet. And they can be very versatile. So this is if you want to keep your socks and use your socks again as socks. Now, if you'd like to keep your socks and wear your socks, but you'd like something a little bit fancier than that, you can draw on your socks. Now, again, a word of caution. If you draw on your socks, 2 things. If you put the sock on your hand first and then draw on your socks, the ink is going to soak through the sock and your fingers are going to get all pink and funny colors, right? So what I did is I put one of those little latex gloves on, and there's a lot of those around these days for safety reasons, and so I put a latex glove on and then I drew on my sock. And I gave him lips, and I gave him whiskers, and I gave him eyeballs. Okay? Now for my hair, I'm going to use just the 1 rubber band. I do have to have 2 rubber bands. This takes 2 rubber bands. Now they've got the face on. I take 1 rubber band to put around the waist. Again, I have to have something to hang the clothes on. And I have another rubber band that I'll put over the top of the head. Then I'm going to have a black sock here, and I'm going to tuck one end, the heel of the sock under the rubber band, and then I can tuck it back and you don't see the rubber band anymore. And now we have a mouth puppet with lips. Actually, the lips aren't going very well. I have to tuck the lips in further. There we go. There we have lips. Now remember, if you're going to write on your socks, you want to use permanent marker if you're going to wash them. If you're not going to wash them, You don't have to worry about it fading. You can use the watercolor. But either way, your hand's going to get a lot of ink on it through the sock. So. Now the third kind is if you have a sock that you don't care if you ever see your sock again, except as a puppet. So I have a plain white sock here. Same thing, you put your hand in the sock, put the heel over your knuckles, because that's all the extra fabric there, and stick your finger in the hole, and suddenly you have a puppet, okay? Now in this case, I'm going to use felt pieces to make the eyes and the nose. What I'm going to be using is white glue to glue these things on. I did this earlier and I actually marked my sock. If you can see the lines, this is where the eyes are going to go, and this is the noses in the center. So then I'm going to take my eyes, which I pre-cut, but I just did, this is actually 3 pieces of felt, little black round speck, a bigger white round speck, and a beige speck for the eye, and I put it right where I want it. Okay, and I did the same on the other side. Now if you're wondering how to get a perfectly round circle for your eyeball, you go ahead and you can use hole punchers. If you have a single hole puncher, you can use that on felt. It will work that way. And then I cut out a nose for him, which I will put in the center where I have it marked. And then I had a couple ears, so I will put the ears on up here. Oops. Now to hold it on, I'm going to just use white glue, put a little speck. Note, like anything else, your sock is porous, so therefore whatever you glue on is going to come through. The glue is going to come through and get your fingers, but it is white glue, simple white, water soluble, it will wash off. So I will do a speck of this, the eyeball, and there's one eyeball. There's one eyeball, there's another eyeball, and then so you pre-cut all your felt pieces, and then you can just put your glove on your hand, put your sock on your hand, and put on your felt pieces. Oops. So he's got an ear on that side. Which way I want the ear to face. And then I can put an ear on this side. Okay, so I have 2 ears, and I have 2 eyes, and I have a nose. So I have a mouth puppet. Again, mouth puppet, you just got your thumb on the bottom, you get your fingers on top, and that's how you make it go. Since he doesn't have lips, I don't have to worry about having a different size hand using this mouth puppet. I can just keep using him any way I want to. Mouth puppet. So have fun with your sock puppets. Again, check with your parents to make sure it's okay to write on or draw on your sock puppet. If you don't want to do it, you want to keep using your socks, you can just use the other way where you're not actually gluing or writing on anything. And this way is really kind of more permanent way, so you can glue on your sock. Pre-cut your pieces, put your sock on your hand, and figure out where you want your eyeballs and your ear and everything to go, and just a little dab of glue, you don't have to soak it, to go ahead and glue on your ears and your eyes. And that's a mouth puppet. Next time we'll be looking at a different kind of puppet, so I hope you'll tune in and see all of our other videos here at Everyman Puppet Theater. We like all kinds of puppets, and we like to share them with everyone. So, goodbye! One more thing, if you're doing these permanent puppets with felt stuck to your sock, sometimes you have troubles keeping the felt on the sock with white glue. What you can do is when you take it off, put a lot more glue on to make sure all the edges are down. But what I highly recommend to you is get some help from a grown-up and get some hot glue. Now I don't use the hot glue, I use the cool temperature hot glue. There is such a thing, and the cool temperature hot glue means you're not going to burn yourself too severely. Now in this case, I went ahead and re-glued the eyes, they don't come off, and the ears, they don't come off, and I gave him, actually him became a her, she became because you got a pink tongue and a pink mouth, so it became her. For the mouth, open up, sweetie. Why? There you go. It's simply a piece of felt that's about this long and folded in the middle, and it's not glued all over. No, it's not glued all over. It's just along the front edges, and then the tongue is just glued back here under the middle. Okay, so okay, you can close your mouth now. So there she has a tongue, and she's got her mouth, and she's a lot more permanent. See, she can shake all she wants, and nothing falls off. If you're using white glue, you have to use a lot of glue, and you have to let it dry thoroughly before you start playing with your puppet. Otherwise, everything will fall off like it did for me the other day, which is why I switched to hot glue. So, okay, bye.